Hello everyone, this is Rob, and I wanted to talk a little bit about my weekend and my new project that I'm working on. And I finally made lots of decisions and got the first block done, but now I'm going to add some more, and that's what I want to talk about. This weekend I had online virtual quilt retreat with a group that I belong to called the Quilter's Way from Kim Jamerson Hurst of Chatterbox Quilts. And it was about 15 to 20 of us that meet online on Zoom for the weekend and just chat and learn new things. And I wanted to discuss this block because I've always done turned edge, applique, or if I used raw edge, I used a satin stitch. But this piece, the handle, and especially this tip here, are too narrow for satin stitch, especially this one. If I did a satin stitch on both sides of these, I would have lost this tip inside there. And it's a beautiful wooden grained fabric that I found, and I thought it was fantastic. And these fabrics, this fabric, I don't know who made this one. I saw it at my quilt shop and I yanked up a meter of it. But this is from a shop in Paris called Sajou. And they've been around for many, many years. They specialize in embroideries and threads, but they have some beautiful fabrics as well. And I thought they would be perfect because this is Adetta Sitar's of Laundry Basket Quilts Dancing Umbrella pattern. But I'm going to call mine Parisian umbrellas because I'm using this beautiful Paris fabric. But what I wanted to talk about was I had a hard time with not wanting to do satin stitch. And again, these were too small to do turned edge. It would have been a nightmare. So what I did was I cut them out and I glued them down. And as you can see, it's on stabilizer now. And I sewed them down. But it took me a lot of trial and error, and what I decided to do, and even instead of matching the thread, I chose to match the background, which I think turned out really well. But what I wanted to talk about is using different size stitches for this, because these are so narrow. This is a 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter blanket stitch. And it took forever, but I think it turned out really, really well. And these, to keep it consistent, and because these pieces are bigger, are 1 millimeter by 2 millimeter. So it keeps it consistent and gives you a consistency around the block. And I absolutely love the block, but I was like, in the Quilter's Way Energized retreat we had this weekend, we were talking about quilting and other techniques, and one of the members was discussing trapunto, and I'm like, and she showed us her method. So what I think I'm going to do is do a next block and try it trapunto, and actually trapunto around this shape using the same stitches, but then trapunto around these shapes and then echo either 1/8 or 1/4 inch and then do a micro stippling as a quilt as you go block. And I would have never thought of using Trapunto for this. And that is what's great about meeting and discussing with other people your projects, because they can help you and give you ideas. Because I wanted something to really highlight this French fabric, because I think it's fantastic. Because I have it in the blue and the pink. And here's one of the other umbrellas with the old can imprints. And I have this in pink, so it's going to be half pink and half blue. So it's going to be a really, really nice little quilt when I get finished. I'm going to do 20 of these blocks. But I just thought it would be fun, and I'll post a picture with the micro stippling and everything. But the reason I'm saying this is we have gotten into a time that everything has to be fancy and fussy and all that, and it doesn't have to be. Because if I just echo around here, or they call it an offset of 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch, and then do a micro stipple, if it's trapuntoed and cut, and so this has double batting and this has single batting, this should pop out. And I'm anxious to see what happens and how it turns out, because I think it's going to be fun. But it's a lot of work and it's very time consuming. And that's the other thing I want to say, is if this is time consuming, if you really, really enjoy it and get into this and don't feel pushed or like you're doing something wrong or you're a failure. If it takes you a year or two to do a quilt, it takes me forever because of my stroke. I sew very, very slowly. But also remember, this was one of the other discussions, all these people we see online, like Pat Sloan and Jenny Doan and Eleanor Burns, and all these people that make quilts so quickly, Donna Jordan, etc., they have staff. And some of these people have lots of staff. So, yes, if you have like 10 people working on one quilt, yes, you can turn out a quilt really, really quickly. So, when you're watching these videos and getting inspiration, think about that, because they only make one block online, show you how they put it together, and show you the finished product in their 15-minute video. So think about that. They always have staff. So I want everyone to have a great day, a great week. It seems like the weather here in Europe is going to be wonderful this week, so I hope to actually get out and do some things besides quilting. So everyone have a good one, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Talk to you later. Bye.